Right now, a storm larger than the entire planet Earth has been raging on Jupiter for over 400 years. Winds hit 400 miles per hour. Lightning 1,000 times more powerful than anything on Earth explodes every few seconds. And this is just the surface. The Great Red Spot is not just a storm, it is a planet-sized engine of violence. Right now, this swirling vortex stretches more than 10,000 miles across, wide enough to swallow Earth whole and still have room to spare. Its winds roar at up to 425 miles per hour, faster than any hurricane ever recorded on our planet. Along the rim, the atmosphere tears itself apart with forces strong enough to rip steel apart like tinfoil. Lightning erupts inside the storm, each flash carrying the energy of a small nuclear bomb, hundreds of millions of joules in a single instant. These bolts are 10 times more powerful than anything in Earth's skies, and sometimes even more. Juno, the robotic probe orbiting Jupiter, has peered deep into the storm's roots. Its sensors reveal that the Great Red Spot punches down nearly 200 miles below the cloud tops, about 3 times the height of Mount Everest. This is not some shallow swirl of clouds. It is a tunnel of chaos that reaches into the planet's depths, churning with heat and pressure that would crush any machine built on Earth. But the monster is changing. The spot is shrinking, losing about 90 miles of width every year. What once looked like an eternal eye of Jupiter is slowly tightening, its color shifting from deep crimson to a paler orange as chemicals mix and clouds drift above. Still, even as it contracts, the Great Red Spot remains a wound in Jupiter's face, a reminder that beneath the calm bands, the planet is always at war with itself. Jupiter's calm stripes and swirling clouds hide a weight that bends the solar system itself. The planet is so massive that it does not just orbit the sun. Jupiter's gravity pulls hard enough that both planet and star spin around a shared center of mass, the barycenter. This invisible point sits just outside the sun's surface, about 1.07 times the sun's radius from its center. For most of Jupiter's 12-year orbit, the sun is tugged off-center, circling a spot in empty space. Every 12 years, the sun's path wobbles by about 13 meters per second, enough for astronomers to detect using the same methods they use to hunt for planets around distant stars. The numbers are staggering. Jupiter outweighs Earth by a factor of 318. Stack more than 1,000 Jupiters together, and only then do you match the sun's mass. Yet even at that ratio, Jupiter's pull is strong enough to make the sun itself dance. If Jupiter had been born just 80 times heavier, it would have crossed the line into true stardom. At that threshold, hydrogen atoms deep inside would have fused, igniting a new sun in our sky. The difference between planet and star is a razor-thin margin of cosmic weight. Jupiter sits just below it, a failed star with the power to move the one we have. This scale is the root of every horror that follows. The storms, the pressure, the heat, they all flow from Jupiter's impossible mass. What looks like a gentle giant from Earth is, in reality, a world that nearly became a sun and still holds the strength to shake the center of our solar system. Galileo plunged into Jupiter's atmosphere on December 7th, 1995, carrying no illusions of survival. It was designed as a sacrifice. One final transmission before being erased by the planet's crushing grip. The descent began with a blast of heat shield, plasma lighting up as the probe tore through the upper haze at 106,000 miles per hour. At first, the pressure was less than a whisper, but every second, the weight of the sky doubled, then tripled, then soared beyond anything found on Earth. Within minutes, Galileo passed the familiar 1 bar of pressure, the same as standing at sea level. But there was no ground, only a bottomless fall. At 10 bars, the temperature climbed to 300 Kelvin, hot enough to scald. The probe's sensors recorded a world turning hostile. Ammonia clouds thinned, water vapor vanished, and the wind shear battered the parachute. The deeper Galileo fell, the more the numbers lost meaning. 20 bars of pressure, 20 times the force that crushes a diver at the bottom of the ocean. The air was no longer air. It was a dense, superheated soup pressing in from every side. 58 minutes after entry, at a depth of just 15 miles, Galileo's signal flickered and died. The probe's hull caved, its electronics vaporized, and its last whisper was swallowed by hydrogen. It never reached a surface, because there isn't one. Below, the pressure keeps rising until hydrogen itself turns metallic, forming a layer that could only exist inside a gas giant. Galileo's final moments are the only proof we have. Jupiter is a world where falling means being erased, atom by atom, with no escape and no end. Beyond the storms and crushing pressure, Jupiter unleashes a threat that doesn't need contact to kill. Its magnetic field is a monster, about 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. This invisible force stretches millions of miles into space, forming a magnetosphere so large it could swallow the sun. But size is only the beginning. The real terror lies in what this field traps. Belts of high-energy radiation swirling with electrons and ions moving at nearly the speed of light. Step inside this zone, and you are under constant attack. The radiation dose near Jupiter's inner belts can hit 5 sieverts in just 10 minutes, enough to kill a human twice over. Even the best shielded electronics buckle under the assault. Onboard computers glitch, memory chips fry, and sensors fail as charged particles punch through protective layers. Juno, the current probe, can only survive by ducking through the least dangerous paths and shutting down most of its systems at every close pass. Galileo, before its final dive, suffered cascading malfunctions from radiation storms that would have been unthinkable in Earth orbit. This environment doesn't just threaten machines. The magnetic field induces electric currents in anything conductive, including spacecraft hulls and even human tissue. The result is that circuits short, metal heats, and nerves misfire. No living thing could last here. Jupiter's near space is not empty. It is a killing ground, invisible and silent. Before the pressure or heat can destroy you, the planet's magnetosphere will. No warning, no escape, just a relentless, unseen assault that wipes away anything unprepared. In July 1994, Jupiter swallowed a comet whole and made it look effortless. Shoemaker-Levy 9 did not strike as one piece. Jupiter's gravity tore it apart, splitting the comet into 21 separate fragments. Each chunk hit at more than 130,000 miles per hour, turning the planet's upper atmosphere into a shooting gallery. The largest impact released as much energy as hundreds of Earth's nuclear arsenals combined. For weeks, Jupiter wore the scars, dark bruises, some over 8,000 kilometers across, visible from telescopes on Earth. Computer simulations show Jupiter deflects or absorbs about 90% of long-period comets that might otherwise threaten the inner solar system. Yet roughly 30% of near-Earth asteroids have orbits nudged by Jupiter's pull, turning the planet into both a shield and a sniper. The line between guardian and destroyer is razor thin. Jupiter's terror doesn't stop at its own clouds. Its gravity, squeezes its moons into worlds that defy imagination, one forged in fire, the other sealed in ice. Io, closest to the giant, is a volcanic nightmare. More than 400 volcanoes tear open its crust, spewing sulfur and ash into space. The biggest eruptions shoot plumes 500 kilometers high, half again as tall as Mount Everest. The heat pouring out of Io's tortured surface is 20,000 times greater than all Earth's volcanoes combined. Every day, Jupiter's pull rips and kneads this moon, fueling eruptions that never end. Then there's Europa. Beneath its frozen surface, a hidden ocean sloshes in the dark. The water here is not just deep, it is vast, holding nearly 3 times more liquid than all of Earth's oceans put together. But this is no safe haven. Jupiter's radiation bombards Europa, turning its icy shell into a shield against a constant storm of deadly particles. Any life that exists in that buried sea must survive in a world where the surface is lethal, and the only warmth comes from the same tidal forces that keep Io in perpetual agony. Jupiter creates these extremes. Its gravity and fury reach far beyond itself, warping its moons into places where survival means enduring the worst the solar system can offer. Jupiter isn't a gentle giant, it's a monster masquerading as a planet. Its storms rage, its pressure crushes, its radiation kills. Yet this same beast shields Earth from cosmic impacts, even as it threatens everything that dares approach. In the shadow of Jupiter, safety is never what it seems.